everybody? Welcome to another edition of Box Seats. Your host, Frank Holder, here with you. While we wait for the other guys to come in, let's bring my man Mike Sean in the building. Mike, what's happening, bro? How you doing?
Happy New Year, mother.
Yeah.
How you doing? 2023, we in here. How was your New Year?
It was good. How was yours?
Excellent, because the Giants in the playoffs. Giants in the playoffs. That's why it's excellent. Excelente, baby.
I feel the same way because my Patriots in the playoffs right now anyway. My man Mo's in the building. Mo, your Giants in the playoffs. You happy too?
Yeah, man, but listen, they got me moving around like El Chapo so I can get different backgrounds. Right now, I can't divulge the location, but I don't want to be talked about my background anymore. See my background now? Is that good enough?
Well, T ain't here, so you ain't gonna worry about that because I don't care about your background.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, my Giants are in, baby. We in there.
We in. G-Men are in.
Yes, sir.
Tell you who's not in. The Jets. That's why Talon's not here. Yeah,
Dave really lost. So you know how guys out there when their team lose, they don't want to show up. All right, let's get ready to get this show started, man. Let me pull out my notes. You know how I always do. I gotta pull up my notes, and we get this thing started first and foremost. All right, so Mike, I'm gonna throw you in the first box square, man, and I'm gonna ask you the same question that I would ask everybody who start the same thing out. So Kevon Thibodeau is getting ready to be suspended for celebrating after knocking out Nick Foles in the game. Oh, my man Talent is in the building. T, what's up, man? How's your New Year's?
Oh, very good, brother. Very good.
All right. So what you think, Mike? Let's start with you. What you think, Mike? You think Kevon Thibodeau should be suspended for celebrating after he knocked out Nick Foles? Because he was doing snow angels. He was pretending to do snow angels during the game. What's your take?
Doug, so snow angels are now a form of violence, I guess. That suspend me too, because I did a snow angel too when he knocked Foles out. Like, I don't get, he hit him legally. Now, mind you, we had a play early in the game where our linebacker hit Nick Foles and let him go. And he then threw a pass because he didn't want to get a penalty. So now you're going to penalize on certain types of celebrations. It's okay for the entire defense to run into the end zone, look at the camera, do a coordinated, choreographed dance. But if you do snow angels, now you're over the line. I don't know where the NFL, I don't know where this rule book goes.
Honestly, I'm not even sure either. But what I will say is that see, I think I could be wrong. I think they're not liking the fact of the celebration, not necessarily what the celebration was. But that's right now. That's what they're at. So I guess the question to you, Talent, is: do you think that the NFL should suspend Kevon Thibodeau for because they're having conversation.
That's going too far. It basically, first of all, the celebration is not that I knocked you out. You know, the celebration is on the play. I did something. Now the fact that you're going through your convulsions and it was that bad, I'm on my back doing snow angels. Mm-hmm. I'm not standing over you like, oh, he's seasoned. Yeah. I'm on my back after the immediate move and hit. It's celebrating like that, which they do all the time. It just so happened this was a little more severe than he knew about at the initial moment. But it's football again, people. It's football. These things are going to happen. How people react. I don't think you go to the penalty box every time somebody celebrates a good play, even though some good plays end in injury. You know what was a good play? When they stopped watching the Redskins and broke up Joe Theismann. Okay. But you didn't know how bad it was till you knew how bad it was.
Right.
It changed everything. But the fact that remained was the play and what the results of the play is. I think it's excessive to go that far. Sorry.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Mo, in your opinion, do you think that he knew that he had knocked him out like that and he was still celebrating because he did the sleep thing after? Or do you think that he just really didn't know and he just was celebrating? What's your thoughts, Mo?
Listen, whether he knew or he didn't know, man, leave them guys alone, man. You in the heat of the moment. You got thousands of people yelling your name, cheering for you. The adrenaline is flowing. This is a violent game that we play. No athlete wants anybody to be hurt. You know, but if you got knocked out, you got knocked out. Cut and dry, And it's the same thing. If it happens to him, they're going to do it to him. They go, and he got to accept it. It's just like here in comedy. If I give it, I got to be able to take it. That's all.
They should suspend the guy who missed the block. Suspend him.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, there wasn't even nobody. There was nobody there.
No,
He
that's
had
what I'm saying. Somebody blew something.
somebody blew
Pause.
an assignment.
Somebody blew an assignment.
All right, so Mike, the Eagles end up losing to the Saints.
It was a great weekend.
Huh?
It was a great weekend, boy. It was a great weekend. Go ahead.
Eagles end up losing to the Saints 20-10. I guess the question now should be, because the 49ers and the Cowboys got now more in the hunt because the Eagles lost to the Saints. Should there be some concern with the Eagles losing to the Saints? Because now that something was a sure done deal with the Eagles knocking up that #1 seed, don't look like it's going to happen now. So what's your take right now that the Eagles lost to the Saints? What's your take?
We sat here and talked with the Dallas game. We said, don't fall apart and go from being the #1 seed to being a wild card team. Don't do it to yourself. Because mentally, that city ain't built for this. I mean, they're great fans, but they will turn like every city. I'm not just saying Philly. They will turn in a second, and I'm here in South Jersey right now, and they are turning fast right now, talking about Jalen Hurts should have played. Is there concern? Yes, because it's a big deal going from saying everybody got to come to Philly to play to you having to go on the road. And you don't want to play San Francisco anyway. You definitely don't want to have to wind up going to San Francisco.
Yeah,
you want San Fran to come into the cold and come play in your environment with your fans. So yeah, there is panic. The only bright spot is that the Giants have nothing to play for. They can't get out that situation. They're sixth regardless, win or lose. So they may not play their players, even though word on the street is that they're gonna play their players, and they would be nothing better. They would be nothing better than the Giants being the reason why the Eagles end up a wild card. They would be nothing better. I don't care about the playoffs. Make them a wild card team, and you talk about a happy camper over here, boy.
Yeah. All right, so T, let me ask you this, man. The Eagles ended up losing to the Saints. That was a sure win until Jalen Hurts got hurt. But now there's a whole lot of concern coming out of Philly that Jalen Hurts should play. Now, mind you, we know he got a sprained shoulder. He's supposed to be out a couple more weeks. So if you're the Eagles, man, what you gonna do? What you do the last couple of weeks?
I wish we could take this show right now and FaceTime Dave the business bully. Just have a conversation, because he's so boisterous when he's on the air and they're winning games in a row. And now you lose to the lowly Saints. Saints at one of the last 2 weeks of football. I bought a watch for Dave. I want to give Dave this nice and Victor watch. It's nice right there, collector's item. But I think because it's a Jets watch, I'll keep it for myself. But we need to find Dave. That's who needs to answer this question. I think that, forget the fact that they messed all my money up yesterday. Between them and Miami, both of them, they could kick rocks. But to lose, exactly what Mike said. You put a statement out there now that you're anybody's ass whoop. You could be beat by.
Right.
The Saints just beat you, because I thought in my heart of hearts, listening to Dave tell it, quarterback, but the Eagles was this complete team with the defense being what it is. I don't know. I said this all year long. There was something not letting me jump on this bandwagon. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I can't ride with y'all because I just don't believe it. Yeah, I see the numbers, but I'm not believing what I'm seeing. And yesterday showed why I had that feeling, because these guys can lose any day. Like they're not even strong enough to put them a game ahead. You can't. Yeah. They're a wild card. Mike's right. All hell breaks loose. On the road, big difference.
Yeah, so Mo, I think Jalen Hurts showed the value of his worth to the Philadelphia Eagles more than anything yesterday. Don't you think?
Man, they making Michael Parsons look like a genius. Because if you go back 2 weeks ago, everybody was up in arms, but Michael Parsons would say, "Is it the player or is it the system?" No, I'm not saying he's a genius. He's looking like a dummy because it's the player. I don't even mean to say he's like a genius. He's like a dummy because it's the player. They missing Jalen Hurts. They missing him. They ain't moving on with him. And listen, I'm not a big Philly fan either, and I would love for the Giants to ruin their chances too, Mike. You know what I'm saying? For real, because this is the time of the year when winning teams become losers, like Miami and Philly, and when losing teams become winners, like Tampa Bay and Green Bay. It's that time of the year.
Yeah. Speaking of Tampa Bay, we got to talk about right now, Mike, that Tampa Bay ended up defeating the Panthers. They were down, they were down so far, I wasn't even paying attention to the game anymore. But Tom Brady did what Tom Brady does. Made 3 bomb TDs to Mike Evans, came back and win. So it looks like this, man. The Bucs and defeated the Panthers. They're in the playoffs. Nervous about the Bucs being in the playoffs, Mike? Any concern?
One team should be nervous, and I'm gonna say it again. Tom Brady's last victory with the Bucs will be against Dallas when they beat them in the playoffs. That'll be the team that Tom Brady can manage to beat. You got to leave these guys alone, man. They will figure a way out unless you put them to sleep for real. Unless you do a Nick Foles and get them out the game, or you put them so far out of range. If you give Tom Brady a little room where he sees hope, he's going to take it. And I don't know what the Carolina Panthers were even thinking. Like, are you ever going to bring a safety to come over and help on Mike Evans? Or you just going to allow him just to PlayStation and Xbox shoot to death?
I said the same thing. I said Nobody's playing safety over the top. I thought it was, I said the same thing, Mike. I said the same thing.
No, it's a problem. Like these guys, these gentlemen, these Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady's of the world are dangerous when it comes to an elimination game. They've been there. They know what it takes.
Especially if you don't play the safety over the top and you keep continuing to play man on Mike Evans is beating your corner every single play. T, let me ask you this, man. Any concern with Tampa Bay, defeating the Panthers and waltzing into the playoffs with a wild card spot? Any concern?
No, not at all. I mean, I seen that coming. Who hasn't seen that writing on the wall? When you looked at that division and seen those horrible numbers, I think in that division, and them having a horrible season, Tom Brady's worst, and they're still about to lead the division. Of course, they're going to get there, and Mike is right. These are the guys that I fear. This is why last night, exactly why, I say never bet against Aaron Rodgers and guys like that. Brady's in that same package. There's certain guys, when they're at the helm and they're in these situations where one game can get to the next game, i.e. the playoffs, they're the most dangerous players. It's not these young guys. These young guys, they need that methodic movement and all those wheels and cylinders to click. Not these wild cards. It's called the wild card game for a reason.
Yeah.
Randomly, somebody gets in there. Next thing you know, some guy who barely made it to the playoffs is in the second round.
Yeah.
The championship game of their conference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt about that. Mo, Tom Brady going to his 14th straight playoff appearance. 14 straight. Any concern if you're any of those teams and you got to face the Bucs or everybody overlooking them?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate the New England Buccaneers for making it to the playoffs again. That's about the closest anybody in New England going to get to a championship again.
And that's why his thing froze. He talking trash. That's why his thing froze. All right, so let me ask you, Mike. The Packers ended up upsetting the Vikings. I don't care what nobody says. That was an upset. Let me bring Mike up in here. Mike, you go right here while we wait for him to come back. So the Packers upset them, man. What's your take on the Packers doing the upset?
No, it reminds me so much of when Peyton won that Super Bowl with the Broncos. When Peyton wasn't having a great season and he made 4 or 5 throws a game, and then they ran the ball. Then the defense and Von Miller and them boys was getting turnovers and harassing quarterbacks and doing all that. If you tell Aaron Rodgers, look, we need 4 plays. We need 4 or 5 plays. That's what we need. He's going to make them. And if you run the ball, like I know we love passing the ball all over the field. I know that is where the league is going and everybody will go for it on 4th and 5 in their own territory and all that good stuff. But if you're getting 4 or 5 to 6 yards a clip every time you run the ball and you put them in manageable third downs, you're in trouble. And we say this about a bunch of teams. You don't want to see Aaron Rodgers in a wild card game because this guy's chip on his shoulder right now, his ego is fiending just to win a wild card game and to move on. Yeah, this is going to be good playoffs, yo. This is going to be fun.
It definitely is. And also, T, I think this basically solidifies the fact that Aaron Rodgers ain't going nowhere. I think he's going to stay with the Packers because he got to the playoffs. Now, if he didn't get to the playoffs, that'd be a different story. But yeah. So what's your take on the Packers upsetting the Vikings, man? And are you in agreement with Mike? Because, they are, to me, I don't care what nobody says. I think the Vikings are a scary team. I don't care who they play. They could be a scary team. facing anybody in the playoffs, especially when they upset the Vikings. You know what I mean? What's your take?
Here's the thing, man. Y'all don't let this team, this depleted team, have a win like this. This wasn't a regular win, Frank. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers put on a clinic. And what a clinic is when your defense is scoring as much as your offense. That's a damn clinic. These dudes are punt returns, interception, pick six. Fumbles. They were clicking on all sides of the ball, which is very scary going into a playoff situation. Right. Very scary. That this is a rival game. And I never bet on this game for the simple fact that it's going to swing 3 to 4 points either way. You just don't know where. Sometimes it has to do with where they're playing at or whatever. But for them to throw up that many points against a rival like that at home, and the points are coming from both sides of the ball, defense and offense, that's the scariest team to me that anybody want to play in the playoffs right now is Aaron Rodgers with these damn Packers.
Aaron Rodgers is definitely one of them scariest teams. Mo, the Green Bay Packers defeated the Vikings 41-17, and Justin Jefferson only had one reception, Mo. One. What's your take, bro?
Listen, they got shut down. You can't let these guys loose. These guys are NFL players, and they in their prime of the season. They clicking at the right time. We all know that. We see it happen year after year. It's not about who's the best team when it starts out. It's not about who's the best team in the league when it's who's clicking right now. Who's getting together, and it seems like Green Bay is clicking right now. All the things that, and once again, the don't worry about it. We got this. Everything that Aaron Rodgers said that we clown, because I was clowning him. I put him on, sit your ass down. Everything is coming back to let him know, look, we clicking at the right time. There's 17 weeks of this, and we got time to figure it out, and that's what they did.
You guys sit your ass down ready today, too, by the way?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mo told Aaron Rodgers, stand your ass up.
He sure did. You got to sit your ass down. Speaking of sit your ass down, the Raiders ended up losing to the 49ers, man, and it would end up being a shootout. But the Raiders got some hope, man, with Jarrett Stidham, man. What's your take, man, on the Raiders having life, Mike? They had life. They really had life. What's your take on the game?
Now they're talking about, well, this guy understands McDaniels' game strategy or game plan or whatever it is. It's one game. Overall, the season was a mess. The season was a disaster. I don't know what it is that the media has with Josh McDaniels and what payment he sends all these reporters once a month or whatever, but there is no hope. This was a mess. Just call it what it is. Whatever y'all do next season, if y'all have draft picks, I don't even know what your draft pick situation is. Yeah, it was a shootout. That's why the NFL is great. That any given Sunday thing is really not just a cliche. It's facts.
Yeah.
And when it goes down, it goes down. When a team starts to, and when you got Devontae Adams on your team and your offense and you're tossing him the ball and saying, make it happen, things like this happen. Great game. 49ers pulled it out. They're probably the best team in the NFC right now. I think head and shoulders above everybody else. But we'll see. I love the game.
Yeah.
I hope you didn't bet it.
On the flip side, the 49ers got QB Brock Purdy. People are not even paying attention to Brock Purdy's QB coach. It's Brian Griese. Remember Brian Griese from the Dolphins? Yeah.
Wow.
That's his QB coach. Meanwhile, he brought him back. Like Brock Purdy was playing all the games he played this season. He's playing with a lead. This game, he ended up having to bring him back. So people are saying that the 49ers are probably the best team in the NFL and definitely the scariest team in the NFC with what they're doing with Brock Purdy and the rest of the guys over there. What's your take on this, T?
I think they are. I think they got a point. They got a valid point to stand on. I didn't know that. That's information, something you learn every day. Greasy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, you know that you got somebody with some stature and some football intelligence. You know what I mean? That's the thing. That's my problem with football. As I look around the league, I'm torn because half of me is dumb happy that these young guys are getting a shot and coach, to move up the ranks. But then the other half of me is like the placement of some of these guys, if they're not good enough to do the job and don't have the football intellect, you're just bad for the overall organization. You know what I mean? That's where I left off yesterday with my own team. Like, I'm like, this coach dude, man, yeah, you might be good at defense, bro, but it don't make no sense to hold somebody to 3 if you can't score 3.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think they got a good point with that. Brian Greasy, that's a good look right there. That's a good look.
It definitely is. Mo, what's your take on the Raiders losing in the shootout to the 49ers in a game that shouldn't even been that close? Everybody was thinking that was going to probably be the blowout of the weekend.
Right. Just a few weeks ago, we were talking about Baker Mayfield. It was one game. We get these guys too much when they do one thing right. They are all NFL quarterbacks and players. They know how to play the game. Sometimes, we give them too much. It was a game, so what? They got the shootout. Homeboy Homeboy was a little bit more than what they expected, but they won the game, man. Stidham, he is not a Derek Carr. He is not a Rodgers. He is not in none of the conversations to me right now of Andy's NFL quarterback. It was one game. That's all it was.
Okay, so you with the one game thing. Speaking of one game, the Steelers ended up coming back to the Ravens. The Steelers started out 2-6. They're now 8-8. Mike Tomlin basically we all thought the Steelers were done after the season. So, Mike, I guess the question now is the Steelers going to be the team that we should be saying, you know what, Mike Tomlin has brought the Steelers back to another winning season? And what's your thoughts? I don't even want to say anything more. They beat the Ravens when the Ravens were favored to win this game.
I mean, I always feel good for him. I'm glad, he's guaranteed a winning season. We call it a winning season. It's 500 right now. They're 500. I don't think they're going to make any noise. It's going to take a miracle. Everybody's got to fall into place and do what they got to do for the Steelers to actually make the playoffs. I think Pickett actually showed some swag at the end of that game, pulling that game out the way he did. He struggled, like young quarterbacks are going to do, but it doesn't seem, his confidence never seems to get shaken. Like he never seems to get shaken, and you can't train somebody into that. You can't teach that. That is just a confidence that he has. And that last pass to Najee in the end zone was a perfect pass on the run. That was perfect. But these Ravens Steelers games, and Chris Collinsworth, who I don't agree with much, said something that was so on point. It seems like the game is always the same exact score every time they play going into the fourth quarter. It's always something 13-9 or 17-10 and they're killing each other, and you're going, ooh, it's one of those games that I saw hits that I literally was like, ooh, damn, these guys, I feel like they're hitting each other without pads or something. But yeah, shout to Mike Tomlinson. I mean, the guy needs more credit, and he's got another season where hopefully he's going to wind up a winning season and maybe squeak into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think he's doing really, really good. I think everybody's overlooking him too. So, T, what's your take on the Steelers versus the Ravens right now? And does here's a question for you, T. Does Lamar Jackson's worth go up even more significant now since the Ravens lost against the Steelers? What's your take?
Oh, absolutely. Every loss, ka-ching. Every loss equal ka-ching. Give me my money. Every loss that you do without me is a point in argument you have to take to the table at this point. Shout out to my brother in Tampa, who's a big Steeler fan, because I walked out the bar just knowing that sucker was over. I was like, you know what? The momentum's always on this side. Steelers are done. Let me go to the house and taunt my brother. Before I could get comfortable under the cover, this fool was hitting me up. Yeah, Steeler Nation, Steeler Nation. I was like, yo, man. I just put my headphones on, black and yellow. He got it. But here's the thing, man. Again, another rival. But the difference in this rival is these are two historically defensive teams. So when you look at the game was kind of going the way it was supposed to, being a low-scoring game. You always take the under with these guys playing each other. But out of nowhere, like, I don't know if it's fatigue, bro. And I don't know if we could. Here's the thing about it when you're a quarterback. I don't know if it's the quarterback. I think it's an internal all-around issue. However, helps the quarterback no matter what. His argument is, I'm that guy. I got hurt. Look at y'all without me. Even if it ain't him. Even if you put somebody in there that does decent, if they walk away with the L, the man has an argument to get paid.
He sure does. Mo, I hope it looked like you struggled over there with your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on today.
Hey, move the antenna, Mo.
You know what, Charlie? You know, it's a point where you just got to surrender. I don't even have a comeback for that one.
That's what the frustration. I've been there.
It's all, I'm at the hotel again. You know, I got that time and a half yesterday, man. So I'm here for a few days, you know, because when I work here, they put me up. I'm here for a few days, and I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi, man. I'm over here struggling.
All right, so talk to me about the Steelers and the Ravens, bro. What's your take? Maybe they better.
I didn't really get to see too much of that game, you know. But the Steelers and the Ravens, that's a division, they're division rivalry. They go play each other hard. You know, that's just like the Dolphins and the Patriots, the Giants and Philly. You know, the Bears and the Packers. Those are games that if I'm betting, I kind of stay away from because you never know what's going to happen. But I'm happy for Mike Tomlinson because you know everybody wrote them off at the beginning of the year. In the first few games into the season, excuse me, you know, everyone said he's going to have his first losing season. And he's, like you said, they just may squeak into the playoffs, man. And he deserves, you know, whatever accolades. Because sometimes sometimes it's just not about your talent. It's about coaching. That shows you that good coaching, you know, like the Giants. I didn't throw that in there. Good coaching can produce a good team.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna talk about your Giants in a second. Yeah. Let me talk about Mike, Sean, and the New York Jets. Man, they got eliminated by Seattle Seahawks yesterday. They're out the 12th season in a row. But here's the funny thing about the New York Jets that everybody seems to be overlooking. And I'm not even a Jets fan. Right now, I've seen 3 articles, might even be more, that they have the number 1 destination spot for QBs to land in the off season. And I want to ask you, A, what you think about the New York Jets season? And B, do you think that the New York Jets do have the number 1 landing spot, this most desired landing spot for free agent QBs this offseason? What you think, Mike?
That would be no. And I want to be petty again. DJ Petty. I told y'all bastards, y'all all sat up here. Here's the team you don't want to see in the playoffs. Here's the team you don't want to see in the playoffs. I swear to God on everything, on my mom, dead ass. This is the team you don't want to see in the playoffs. Well, you were all right. We're not going to see them in the playoffs. Everybody was 100%. Every square was right. First of all, the reason why it's not the best destination is because you can't trust this organization to put the pieces around you. Do they have the defense to go to a Super Bowl? Absolutely. They absolutely do. If I was the defense, I would fight the offense after the game. Like literally just fight people on the offense. Like just start snuffing people out for no reason. This defense literally is saying, what else can I do? What do you want us to do, dog? We can't intercept every pass and run it back for a touchdown. This whole quarterback controversy between 2 mediocre quarterbacks. Like, this is ridiculous how they've wasted this much talent on that defensive side of the ball. But my problem is, can we trust the general manager to actually put the pieces together? Like, if you're a quarterback, can I trust y'all? If I'm an established quarterback that can get a lot of money all over the league, can I trust that what you're going to do and the plan that you have is going to turn into a deep playoff run? Bill Parcells ain't here. That's my problem. And now they got to discuss, which Talent has said, and to his credit, he said this all year. And now everybody's sitting there scratching their head. What do we do with a head coach that did an amazing job with the defense, but is lost? He's like a blind man doing a puzzle. He's lost right now when it comes to what he's going to do with this offense. And it doesn't matter what quarterback. And the fact that he kept throwing in quarterbacks, taking this guy out, putting this guy in, taking this guy out. And then when they had a chance to win, your inability to use timeouts. I'm not asking you for a game plan. I'm just asking you, how do you use timeouts? That's it. Ask your assistant. Call your mom. Call your side chick. I don't care. Just find out how to use timeouts. And you want to trust that and spend the next 3 or 4 years in that situation? Good luck.
Well, Mike, that's the reason why I said I think they have a great destination for a free agent QB. So let me ask Talent. He's the Jets fan on the. So T, question is, number 1, what's your thoughts about the Jets not making the playoffs? And number 2, do you think that the Jets have the number 1 QB destination for all these free agents? Like, there's a handful of free agent, QBs is coming out there. You know what I mean? Derek Carr is going to get traded. Carson Wentz is going to be up. Baker Mayfield's going to be up. Jimmy G's going to be up. I mean, you go down the list of people, there are going to be some QBs on the market. Do you think this is going to be the number one landing destination? Is going to be the New York Jets for these QBs?
RG3 Jr. Yeah. He got a call and ran it. He did a hell of a, I think he did a 4-5. Anyway, listen. Yes, it is the number one landing spot, and not for any, Mike is right, but not for any other reasons other than that you got room, you got the room, you got atmosphere, and more importantly, you got money. So yeah, in that regard, absolutely. However, he's right again when he says that if we don't change the core problem, I think I did a post on my gram yesterday or Twitter or something yesterday, like, with my jet hat on, my head down, thinking like all this controversy quarterback talk with the New York Jets, that's not the problem. There are 3 mediocre quarterbacks, maybe 4 over there that can get the job done, but they can't if you don't have a coach that knows the play calling. And like you said, something simple like timeouts and time management. I've watched us lose 3 of the last 4 games just on time management. Time management alone. And I'm watching, and every time a team does what we should have did, you just scratch skin off your neck. You can't go to the skin till you bleed, because you look at your team be on the 1 yard line, you got 2 downs to punch it in, and you just need 1 yard across the goal. We won't try the quarterback sneak. We won't do a quarterback keep. We won't nothing. You go into the shotgun. To me, you need to take your ass back to JV doing that. That's a JV call. You don't go to shotgun when you got 2 downs and 1 yard to score and win the game. Time management, calling time. Come in here, I agree with him. You can go get the fanciest quarterback available. But if the structure and everything's not right around that quarterback, you're back to that stagnated offense. And I'm right with, and I agree with Mike. I put some money in on the defense whooping the offense's ass. The only people exempt is you leave the linemen alone. Offensive line, y'all did y'all thing because the man had time to throw. The man had time to scramble. The man had time. So y'all 4 or 5 guys, y'all go on and get some Gatorade. We whooping everybody else's ass out. I agree. But yeah, it's a good spot to go to if you want your money, you want to get paid and all that. But I think it's going to take, the only way it will change, unfortunately, is if we got an Aaron Rodgers and he came and pulled the Brady and said, yeah, I'm going to come, but I need to have some say-so and move some things around. And I guarantee you that guy, you ain't got to call the play. I'm going to bring somebody call the play. You focus on defense. Now we can focus on offense and run a game. Other than that, we gotta call a spade here in New York, man. And I'm still not hearing it yet. Not as loud a bullhorn as I want to hear. You hear a few murmurs, but everything's still, the quarterback. No, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Our coaching is sucking ass right now. Oh.
Okay, all right. My man Mo, talk to me, man, about what your New York Jets getting eliminated versus Seattle. Hey, Geno Smith got $2.3 million in signing and incentives for what he did so far this season, too. We can't overlook Seattle either. But what's your take on this, man? New York Jets.
Listen, everybody like talent. Everybody's talking about the quarterback. They got the capital. What if the Jets all of a sudden decide to trade up and go get Sean Payton? I mean, that'd be a better look than trying to get another quarterback. That's a coach that they could use, that has the pedigree and know what he's doing. He knows time management. He knows when to call the timeout. He knows how to run the offense. And because it's been shown in the NFL all year long, if you got the right system, you can plug any quarterback into it and run it. They don't have.
Okay, he got stuck again because he said something crazy about them getting Sean Payton. Like, we all know that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Mike,
that's not really crazy. I mean,
it's not crazy, but it ain't gonna happen. They're gonna ride it out with him a couple more seasons. That's what they're definitely gonna do. Let's talk about the Giants making the playoffs and give Mo some time to come in because he want to talk about his Giants, I'm sure. So let's talk about the Giants making the playoffs, man, versus the Colts. Before I even ask you about the Giants, man, do you think the Colts should bring back Jeff Saturday? And that's question A. And question B, what's your thoughts on the Giants when they get to the playoffs, and do you expect a surprise or two? Take the fandom out of it. What you think?
All right, I'm going to skip how Jeff Saturday got the job. Let's take that away. That's not his fault that he got the job in a bizarre way where they just put him in there. Anybody deserves another year after what you threw him into. Like, you literally tossed him into a situation that he wound up as Nick Foles as his quarterback. So technically he should get another year. Now let's bring back how you hired him. It was such a joke on how you hired him that you almost want to save face. If your ego isn't involved, you want to save face and say, okay, I tried to give my boy a shot, but now we're going to get somebody who has some type of head coaching experience, some type of coordinator experience, some type of experience other than being a Hall of Fame offensive lineman. To my Giants, this is all I wanted. I wanted to find out about this head coach. I found out that he knew what Daniel Jones can do and what Daniel Jones can't do. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is a Pro Bowl quarterback or what. I know he's a starting quarterback now. He got Saquon Barkley back in the mix where he should be. Saquon was healthy. That defense is coming on. I'm not in no make-believe world where I think we're going to make a run in the playoffs. If we were to win one game, that would be historical. But we made it here. Next year, we build on it. We'll get more injuries, people that were injured. We got to get some more offensive weapons. We got a few young guys in there who are doing their thing, who had a big season this year. And it's hopeful. That's all. I'm not trying to say we're going to make some type of run or anything like that, but we're on the right track. Finally, we're on the right track. We got a coach.
All right. So, T, should the Giants bring back Saquon and Daniel Jones? Because both of them are free agent this year, too. So, which people aren't talking about it either. So, but being that they both are free agents, you know what I mean? And they're part of that, made that whole Giants thing turn around. What's your take?
Well, Saquon, absolutely. You don't even think twice if you can hold on to Saquon. He's bona fide back. We know what he can do for real, even on consistent levels. Quarterback, not so much. All those quarterbacks we named that'll be looking for homes, who knows? Giants might be a home for one of those guys as well. And then, delegate back to a year or two of being a backup of some more veteran quarterback or whatever over there. Hooray. Me, I'm New York. I'm diehard New York. I'm happy they made it in. I got two teams in the playoffs for New York I get to cheer for until I can't. And then when I can't, Isaac.
Yeah, y'all get two chances every year. You get two teams. Y'all are very, very spoiled.
Well, y'all get the refs every year, so I don't want to hear about we get two chances every year. Y'all get the refs
every year. We don't get the refs.
But I will say this: a lot of people don't know Daniel Jones almost ran for 700 yards this year, and that head coach used that. So I'm just like, I'm keeping. I don't want Jimmy G. Don't leave Jimmy G out of here.
Yeah, let me ask the other Giants fan on the panel, man. What are you super excited, as you obviously should be, about the Giants making the playoffs? That's number one. But most importantly, number two, should the Giants bring back, in your opinion, Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones? Because they both are free agents too, and they're unrestricted free agents too. So I read this morning. What's your take on this?
Yeah, we should bring both of them back, but they should come back willing not to want top cap money because their first few seasons. Saquon couldn't stay healthy. I respect him. I understand things happen, but it's taken a while for us to get here. It's not like they've been doing this for a while and we finally got the right coach. Before that, we didn't have a Saquon. He was always hurt. And Daniel Jones wasn't really consistent either. So they should come back. We should keep him. Don't get rid of him because I was a Daniel Jones when they drafted him. I was a fan of his. Okay. When he came out of the ACC. So, yeah, don't give me nobody else. Keep those two, but they should come back knowing they're not going to get top money either.
And one more thing, Frank. If we happen to get the Vikings in the playoffs, we can beat them.
Yeah, you can. That's a fact.
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
yes, we can. We can.
Really suspect now. Like, I'm surprised how the Vikings are not playing as good as they were playing. And the Vikings had 8 games, 9 games. They won by 1 score. So yeah, they could get first round.
Nobody wants Jimmy G. I take Mo's Wi-Fi before I take Jimmy G in New York.
Facts.
Mo, they talk about your Wi-Fi. Sit your ass down before we move on to the NBA, man. And
I hope I can get through the whole thing. Listen, I'm going to start it off real quick. LA Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, sit your ass down. The way y'all doing things out there, y'all bitching Carl, hoping to keep him, healthy for a trade and saving $40 million. I'm upset with the way y'all treating Devontae Adams. That man left what could have been a Super Bowl year out in Green Bay to come play specifically with Derek Carr. I know he was surprised when he walked into work and they told him what was going down. The look on his face, he was so surprised. That's the same look the white supremacists had when he got removed from the Brotherhood because his 23andMe came back 17% West African. Sit your ass down.
That's 23andMe.
Mo Wagner of the Orlando Magic, sit your ass down. That hip check he gave Hayes, that was wrong. That was completely wrong, man. You never put an athlete, no other athlete, in position where they could be seriously hurt. People depend on their jobs out here. But that's okay. He's going to be the new meme of you got knocked the F out. Because that dazed look he had, that's the same dazed look that I get from people during Christmas time when I ask them, name 3 songs off the Mariah Carey Christmas album without Googling it. I'll wait. Sit your ass down.
Right.
Washington Commanders, sit your silly ass down. How y'all going to ask Carson Wentz to come out here and do this? Man, he was running around dapping people like he got it all under control. So he can only throw for 143 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions with a 31.4 QB rating. He woke up all confident on Sunday, like, yo, I got this. I got this. The same way Brittany woke up confident in Russia one day saying, it's only a little bit. Ain't nobody going to say nothing. Sit your ass down. And the last one, New York Jets, sit your sorry ass down. I tried to make a joke out of this, and I couldn't. I couldn't find a way to make this. I couldn't find a way to make this funny. All I gotta say is the Jets is like that family member with a drug problem. They got clean a whole bunch of times, and every single time they find a way to mess it up. Sit your ass down. That's my segment, y'all. Peace.
Whoa. Be easy with that. Be clean a bunch of times. It ain't easy. It ain't easy.
That's what they said. That's what they said in the NFL. It ain't easy winning games in the NFL. They say that every Sunday.
Yeah, it ain't. All right, let's talk about. I gotta talk about the Brooklyn Nets, man. The Brooklyn Nets are a game and a half because the Celtics lost to the Nuggets, which I'm gonna talk about in a second if I got some time. Kevin Durant is leading the way to the surging Nets. The Brooklyn Nets, believe it or not, now are the second best team in the East, and people right now are sitting there shocked and like, wow, what's going on in Brooklyn? So I guess, Mike, I'm gonna ask you, what's going on in Brooklyn? Because they're the second best team in the East. They leapfrogged over Milwaukee over the weekend, winning, and Milwaukee is starting to lose more games because now Giannis is hurt and a couple other people are out. What's your take, Mike?
My take is the media, you guys are petty. I thought I was petty, y'all petty. Kevin Durant is playing incredible. But the fact that y'all want to ignore what Kyrie's doing, the fact that y'all really want to act like Kyrie ain't balling out also and hitting game-winning shots and doing that other stuff simply because he was right about the vaccine, that's what y'all gonna make believe this is the Kevin Durant show? Them guys are gelling because they played together for a few years. I'll say it again. They now know where the other person is going to be at all times. They now know exactly how to play with each other. Even LeBron in his prime needed a year with Dwayne Wade, even though they went to the finals, needed a year to understand how we going to organize this and who's going to be the lead and who's not going to be the lead. Give Kyrie his credit right now. After all the turmoil, after all the ish y'all talked about him, after y'all made him sit down, then y'all made him apologize. Y'all made him go through 300 classes, paint 200 houses in order to get back in the league. And now the man is balling, humble as hell, just doing his thing. I applaud the Brooklyn Nets. I'm a Knicks fan forever, but I applaud the Brooklyn Nets, and I'm rooting for them to keep the same success going on for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I can't knock that either, man. T, what's your take on Kevin Durant leading the surge in the Nets? Because that's what they're doing, man. The Nets are game and a half behind the Celtics now, and they got the second best record in the Eastern Conference. What's your take?
I'm with Mike. I mean, I could copy and paste that, everything he said. I'm not even the focus for. I guess it's an ethnic thing and a culture thing, because even though Durant's doing the numbers he's doing, we kind of like Durant's. Think of that thing you depend on without thinking about it. Like, I don't know, flipping a light switch. You just expect the lights to come on. You know what I mean? That's Durant when it comes to basketball. So he's not even the story. As dope as that is, not to discredit none of that, Kyrie's the story. Kyrie is out there balling his ass off and represent. And he's, when I look at Kyrie right now, bro, I hate to say it, but it gets real old civil rights-ish to me. It goes back to when they take everything from you and take all the tools you need to succeed or prosper or, be successful, if you will, and you still do it. Is that not the epitome of black man in America?
Facts.
I'm going to take everything you need to be on my level. So you got to walk 3, 4, 5 times as much as I do and go through the rigmarole. And then I turn around, you end up on the same floor, me getting off the elevator. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Applaud to New York. Like I'm with him too. Diehard Knick for life, but respect due for the Nets every day, all day. You know what I mean? And I'm a shout out at the Knick game Wednesday, by the way.
I like the way you did that. Yeah, I like the way you did that.
I'll be on the floor, so I'll be like, box seats.
If you could say box seats Monday through Friday, what the fuck real fast, you can say all that. What the fuck you can spit out.
It's never enough for these people. Mike.
I'm just saying, if you could.
It's never enough, Mike. If you could just say a shout out to the Sagittarius.
If you could just wear a shirt that says box seats Monday through Friday.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. And then go like this.
If you could just drink your beer out this coffee mug that says box seats.
You know what? That might not be a bad idea, Mo. I smoke my cup in. So when it hit me, go, hey, box seats, baby.
Box seat, there you go.
There you go. But then people might think he's just sitting in box seats. They might not even connect the thought. But anyway.
Look, he's never happy. It's never good enough.
It's never enough, Mike.
It's never enough.
Never good enough.
All right, so Mo, talk to me, man. The Booker Nets are surging, man. Do you agree with these two dudes, man, that we should not give enough credit to Kyrie, or it's the team or the coach? Because I think the credit goes to the coach, realistically. I forgot the coach's name, but I really think a lot of the credit needs to go to the coach.
Damn.
Well, I kind of agree with you with that, Frank, because before when they had Nash, they weren't doing these things.
Right.
And then Nash is gone, and so now they're starting to gel. But I never questioned the ability of Kyrie Irving. To me, still in the league right now, best handler. I would give the best handle and best finisher to me in the game right now. And we never questioned his ability. And yeah, they did a lot to him with all that controversy and drama. But we know Kyrie. We know how he get down. I just want him to continue to stay focused on playing ball. Stay focused on winning. Don't worry about what's going on in the world, Kyrie. Stay focused on playing ball. When you focus on playing ball, you win. When you start looking at it's like he got to be the guy, the horse at Aqueduct. Put the blinders on him so he can just see the basketball game. But when he starts seeing the rest of the world, oh my God.
Mo, how you tell somebody don't worry about what's going on in the world?
I'm not gonna tell him no. Don't worry about what's going on in the world.
He has to.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but you know what I mean.
Don't
on the low. Mo told him to shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I said that wrong, and I guess I won't.
Black on black crime, Mo.
I guess I won't. Listen, okay, so I just lost my card to host the BET Awards. I'm just saying, Kyrie does things, he says things at the wrong time. Maybe that's a better way. You know how Kyrie get.
There was no wrong in what he did. It got spun the way they wanted to spin it.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. It's just that he does.
Well, this is why your Wi-Fi was messing up. God knew you was going to say some silly shit. That God said, let me blink and blur and freeze him out. Here's the thing. He didn't do anything wrong. They took it a certain way. Even the powers that be came back I don't know if you follow this. The powers that be came back and said after deciphering every little thing, we got to leave this man alone because he didn't say anything wrong. He said what he believed historically about where the black man came from, the origins and everything.
But I'm not disputing that. We got a whole lot of other list of Kyrie Irving things way before it got to the Brooklyn Nets. When he was in Cleveland, I want to be the man. I'm leaving. I'm going to Boston. And then he came up here to Boston, and then he wasn't really a good, we got a whole lot of stuff that go on with Kyrie long before we got to that situation.
Right.
I'm not talking about what's recent. We got other past issues with Kyrie before that.
Well, you had the vaccine before that, and a whole bunch of laws and stipulations came into place. But my thing
and like I said, we got stuff. Listen, that's just. Listen, Kyrie is he's a wild card. You never know what he's gonna do when you get in the crowd. You never know what he's gonna do. I'm not saying he was wrong. I'm not saying what he stood for was wrong. All I'm saying is his timing ain't that great when he ain't on the court.
Listen, when your name start with a K, Kanye, Kyrie.
Kardashian. I beat you to it, man. I beat you to it. I knew you was going to say that.
Let's take it all the way. Martin Luther King.
Oh, man. This is a great show.
Kurt Russell, all of them.
Kurt Russell. Kurt Rambis.
Oh, people ain't did that. Kurt Russell, you know what he did. He did that to Goldie Hawn. I ain't forget.
Yo, the show's called Box Seats, man. Before we roll up out of here, what y'all got? Today's New Year's. Happy one with every one of you all and people watching, and Happy New Year's and blessings for what you want to happen this year. T, talk to me, man. Tell everybody out there how they can follow you. And first and foremost, I know you got something going on because it's New Year's Day, unless you're kicking back.
Oh, I'm kicking back. Actually, this New Year's I did it like Christmas. It was a mental and emotional detox. Took 48 hours and just went somewhere. Checked in a hotel, not like most, but checked in a hotel. Let the mind get cleansed and go over this year and looking at how things laid themselves out and what you want for next year. So I'm not one of those guys that do resolutions per se. I just look at the year and the things that happened. I pick things that I could embellish on or go better or harder, and things I can eliminate. You know what I mean? To me, it's like your house is spring cleaning. Some of the stuff you need to throw out, give it to Goodwill. Some of the stuff remains in the house. You still need it. So I think every year you pick apart your shit like that, you have better years to come. Like the last couple of years since COVID, believe it or not, since I found out that tequila is the real vaccine, guys, let me tell you. Believe it or not, things have been going super swell.
Tequila, baby. That's right. Camarera.
There it is. Mike, same thing. What you got going on? If you got anything going on, and a Happy New Year to you too.
Ironically, what Talent said, once I found out not to take the tequila vaccine, my life changed dramatically. I am the Kyrie Irving when it comes to the anti-tequila vaccine. And in all seriousness, I look back on a year that had nothing but turmoil. But at the end of it, if you don't learn from that turmoil and you don't see that blueprint, then you really wasted a year. So if you don't dissect it and be like, okay, I see what went down, I see what went wrong, and take total responsibility for it, then you wasted a year. I didn't waste a year. This is going to be a great 2023. It's a great day right now.
There it is, Mo.
Yeah, I kind of look at things. I'll never forget one time I won a Cat Williams special. He said, if you're doing the same stuff you was doing last year, then get away from me. You got to be doing new stuff. And it's like, I look at last year, it's like, my career is getting better. I'm on a TV show. I'm on Box Seats, man. Shoot, I remember I used to sit back and watch this show and be chatting with y'all. Y'all ain't never say nothing to me. I'd be like, damn, how I'm going to get on here? I did. This is something this is one of my goals to be on. So, and like I'm going into 2023, I'm not that name yet. And that's my goal right now, to start to become that name and do some things, because I'm on a higher, how can I say it? It's like I'm on a different team now. It's like I'm in the league where everybody's good. So now I got to get good, because I never know when they're going to call my name to come off the bench and say, Mo, we need you to do a guest spot here. Or I need you to do 10 minutes or 20 minutes here. I got to be ready to go in the game, coach. And that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. You heard what happened to Dave.
Welcome to the NFL.
Leave that in 2022. Leave that. We leave that, man. We leave that. You know, I don't even know who brought that up.
Me neither.
I don't even know who brought it up, but January 20th, I do my first taping in Dallas for the CW33. So every comedian on this show, understand I will be calling you and I will be asking for favors. So I'm just letting you know right now.
Let's go, baby. Call us.
Word up. I'm like, listen.
This Sunday is going down in Boston, by the way. We back up at Laugh Boston. I got to go to Baltimore Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Me and my cousin Ed Lover doing a headline at the Comedy Factory. And then, boom, Sunday, shoot up to Boston to hold it down. Y'all know what it is. We back, baby. Chocolate style. Come on.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Yo, thank y'all for watching. The show's called Box Seats. We're on every day, Monday through Friday. Hope y'all have a happy New Year's Day. Happy New Year also, New Year's resolutions and all that. We will see y'all tomorrow, same time. Peace.
Alrighty.
Thank you.